Alright guys, here's what you need. You need sugar, you need yeast, you need baking soda. As you can see, I got a big thing of baking soda, and I got like these in like a, I want to say these came in like a 12 pack, so I got plenty of that. I mean, shop at, you know, if you got a Sam's Club or a Costco or whatever, I mean, it's a lot cheaper to pick all this stuff up. This stuff's cheap anyway if you get it at the grocery store, but I just got it in bulk, so it makes it easier for me. So I'll show you the next step, breakdown of how much of each one I use, and we'll go from there. Like I said, yeast, baking soda, sugar. Alright, clipped it up, sorry guys. 2.5 cups of sugar. That's what my little makeshift funnel. Try not to spill it, man. Alright guys, next step, tablespoon. Yeast. I use a tablespoon and a half. So a little bit of about a half right there. Right there. Tablespoon and a half of yeast, guys. This is your baking soda. About a tablespoon of baking soda. Alright, so now we're going to fill it up with lukewarm water. I'd say a little bit warmer than tap water, or a little bit warmer than tank water, I'm sorry. That's just the way I do it. So we're right about the line on a 2-liter bottle. So that's where I fill it up, and then give it a good shake, get everything mixed up real well. There's that. So we'll go ahead and clip it over to it pumping on the tank. Alright guys, we're back about 15 minutes or so before it started pumping.
And dozens of additions that you may not be aware of. So if you're disabled and unable to
diffusing through, some of it's diffusing through there, and then I have the canister filter pointing, so it's blowing whatever's not getting sucked up into the filter. It's getting blown with the canister filter. So we're gonna move over and I'll show you the you can see it's diffusing. All that is CO2 bubbles. But real quick guys, you know, I don't run an air stone on this tank. I don't run a bubble counter on this particular setup. I actually have a pressurized system for this, and the only reason I'm running DIY on this tank, I've actually been running DIY on this tank for like 2 months. I've just been too lazy to actually go get more fluval, you know, the disposable CO2 cartridges. I just haven't went and bought any, but it's rolling, man. And like, you know, people are gonna tell you blackbeard algae if you run DIY CO2. I disagree with blackbeard algae being the cause of DIY CO2. I mean, it's an inconsistency in your tank that causes blackbeard algae. I replace this DIY CO2 system every 7 days. So there's, I mean, I don't let it lose potency and trickle. Every 7 days I replace that DIY CO2, and it bumps and it grows. And you know, just to prove my point, my 20 gallon has been DIY CO2 since the day I put CO2 on that tank, and there's no blackbeard algae in that tank. Water changes, good flow in your tank. I mean, I got two on this particular tank. I got an Aqua Clear 50, an Aqua Clear 30. that power head right there that's, you know, diffusing the CO2, pushing it across the street. Plus I got an Eheim canister filter that's pushing water in this tank. So good water flow. You know, be consistent with your lighting. Be consistent if you run DIY CO2. You know, like I said, every 7 days change it out. Change your water. You're not going to end up with blackbeard algae. That's my opinion. So like I said, some people will tell you something completely different than that, but that's just my opinion. So we're going to end the video. I'm going to throw some frozen food in the tank. You know, I got my vitamins in there, the Nourish from CCAM. I've been soaking that for a few while this CO2's been pumping. And like I said, I don't run an air stone on this. I wouldn't run the mix that I'm recommending for anything under a 29. I mean, it might be a little bit too potent. I've never gassed my fish. I've run this system on my 56. I've ran it on the 29, and it's worked just fine. Never gassed any fish. I don't take it off. I don't run an air stone at night. I mean, if you got good water agitation at the surface, I just think that's plenty. So that's my opinion on DIY CO2, how I roll the mix. I'll show you how I build the reactor here next. I'll do, you know, a bubble counter and everything for that. This one I know what this is doing, so I don't run a bubble counter on it. But we're going to throw some food in and call it good, guys. J Flesh Tanks, Mr. Mom Tanks. Stay fired up, people.
Till it's over, till it's over, but it's far from over.